This is Tower Hamlets, London's least white and most Muslim borough.
In the future, Islam will have more followers here than Christianity.
ইনশাআল্লাহ ইসলাম ভবিষ্যতে এখানে আরো বেশি প্রসারিত হবে সারা জাহানে ইসলামের কায়েম হবে ইসলামী রাষ্ট্র কায়েম হবে ইসলামভাবে সারা
Historically speaking, this place has been a gateway for new arrivals to Britain, from Huguenots in the 17th century to Jewish and Irish immigrants in the 19th and 20th century. These groups, along with native English, melted into what's became known as the London Cockney people, which wasn't necessarily an ethnic group, but rather about class, accent, and place. In other words, they became the white British working class, and the majority in places like East London. Nowadays, Cockneys can hardly be found in these parts, and this area is majority Bengali and majority Muslim. In Tower Hamlets alone, there are up to 50 mosques, and up to 500 just in London, and it's only growing. As a tourist, I admit that I had a massive culture shock upon arriving there. It was just not what I pictured when I thought of London, England, and Europe in general. But after spending a few days there, I realized that the Bangladeshi are pretty fond of the camera and very friendly people. I also saw a video online that East London is home to Sharia law councils and Sharia patrol groups, which people argue is part of the Islamization of London, and that it's a no-go zone. After having visited, that is completely false. You can take a walk here during the day just fine. Just be careful at night. As of 2025, UK law is the only legal system in London. Sharia councils do exist, but they function only in a limited, voluntary way, mainly for civil matters like marriage and divorces among Muslims. They have no power over criminal law or to override the UK courts. So that being said, join me on an adventure with a local Londoner as we venture into London's most Muslim area.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Whitechapel, East London. Behind me is one of the biggest mosques in all of London and the UK for that matter. On any given day, some 7,000 people can be here to worship. You should see it on a Friday afternoon. It is something to see. Anyways, in this video, we're going to talk about the culture of East London, in particular Whitechapel, Tower Hamlets, one of the poorest areas of London, and how it's changed over the years. It is a very interesting place, and the Bengali people are very friendly. I have a person here behind us who wants to share with us. His face is going to be blurred, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does here in East London to get this video started. So let's explore Whitechapel.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you?
Good.
Good?
How are you?
You're doing Ruqya. Can you explain to me what is Ruqya and what are you fighting for?
Right, so my name is Saif. I do something in terms of the name of Ruqya. It's basically an exorcism that we perform in order to remove and cast devils out of a human being. It's actually a world that you have to get into and study quite a lot, and it's not a service that you choose, it's a service that God kind of chooses for you.
So what are you fighting for? You're going to battle with an invisible enemy.
So basically what it is like you see a lot of movies about possession, but what it is with this is like it does happen in the real world, and it's a world that we are taught about inside of the Quran. It reminds us a lot that they do exist and they're a clear enemy of ours, and they see us from a place that we can't see them. But what they end up doing is, like you see in the movies, is they possess the human being, and they create something called zulm, which is actually called oppression in the English term, and they oppress the human being. But what we try to do is try to basically read the Quran and tell it that you need to leave, and try to teach it and help it to understand that you can't be inside of a human being because what you're doing is oppression, basically.
So you're fighting, does that relate to the word jihad? Because jihad's a word that people get misunderstood.
Yeah, so what I would say in terms of jihad is a lot of people believe that jihad is us going to war, or the way the government likes to show is us blowing up ourselves, but that's not the case. We actually fight in the name of our God, which is Allah. And also what you have to understand is, in the terms of what's happened in the beginning of time, in like Adam and Eve, we have it as Adam and Hawa. So we're children of Adam, and we have an enemy who's basically called Shaitan. He's the devil. So in terms of jihad, we will be fighting against the devil. And
jihad means like struggle for something, right?
Basically, it's like you're in the war for the sake of Allah and for the name of Allah. For me, in my terms, I live for Allah, I breathe for Allah, and I will die for Allah. And for me, that's very like it's like a purpose that it gives you in life.
And it basically helped you restart your life.
Basically, like it took me away from a lot that I used to do that I shouldn't have been doing growing up, and now alhamdulillah I'm on the right path, and now I'm in the fight in the name of Allah.
Thank you, bro. Before we go explore more, we have to go back and talk to one of my friends, an Englishman, who's going to tell us about the financial history and how that relates to here in East London. So Alex, where are we? What is the history of this place? What do you have to do with it? And why is it important to understand as we head east?
Well, Elliot, welcome to London. Welcome to the square mile of London. This is the oldest part of London. This is where the Romans found. This is old Londinium. But this is what we would call the city of London, and we are right in front of, well, the Duke of Wellington, one of the greatest generals that ever existed in British history. He defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. He was commemorated here. He died of natural causes, hence the reason he stood on a statue with 4 feet. But he stood in front of the Royal Exchange, which is where our stockbrokers with top hats used to do their business, the open outcry system that you would be used to seeing in the Chicago Board of Trade. A little bit of background on myself. I used to be a broker. I used to be a trader. 20 years I was based around this place. So this is not an alien subject to me. And then right behind us, or in front of me, is the Bank of England. You'll notice there's no windows here because all of the gold that we have left and stored from places all around the world, countries like Nigeria, Japan, Kuwait, they store some of their gold in the basement of this place. So it's considered to be the English Fort Knox.
World War II, wasn't all the gold brought here?
In theory, if it wasn't brought here, it was brought to Switzerland. A lot of gold, what is considered Nazi gold, ended up in Switzerland. Also ended up in the United States. There was actually gold going across the Atlantic, but probably its peak was probably around the sort of late 40s, 50s. There's been a considerable drain in the gold reserves in the recent years. People have seen the UK as unstable, so people are saying, I want my gold back. So there's a lot of gold being taken out of this building. If you're interested in keeping track of the gold, there's trucks that leave the building on that side of the building, and people monitor how many trucks come in and out of that building, trying to wonder how much gold is leaving the city. Because there's certainly not much gold pouring back into the city, because this is almost a relic of the past in a way. People around here are doing well. As you would know, on Wall Street in America, the average salary around here is very good. Most people around here are earning 6 figures. If they're not doing admin jobs, they're earning at least 6 figures. Some people are earning 7 figures if they're in the top sort of, you might have a few hedge funds around here, but predominantly it's merchant banks, it's investment banks. There's a lot of history here.
So this is a little island of wealth, and people think, London, they think wealth, they think immigrants through the years have achieved the London dream, so to speak. I met immigrants in Speaker's Corner from Arabic nations, from North Africa, from the United States, from everywhere. And they talked about how things were so well in the 20th century and how things have really taken a downturn. London is in decline, so to speak. So what can we expect in East London, and how does this play into what's happening here in the UK?
So the way I see it, this place has been responsible for the asset stripping of companies throughout the United Kingdom and also throughout Europe and parts of the world, but very much in Europe. This, for example, is very typical of what we're seeing in most of the offices in London. This used to be a hive of activity. Now it's vacant. There's vacant lots. I used to work in this glass building, and half of that building is now empty. So it looks like a busy city, but it's not. Compared to what this city used to be, it is empty. And I think it's a victim of its own success in a way, because it did so much what we would call pillaging, asset stripping of companies, that everything has now collapsed in the UK economy. We've sold off all our steel plants, we've sold off all of our oil and gas, we sold off everything to do with manufacturing. All of our car manufacturers like Jaguar, Land Rover, everything got sold and sent overseas, to the extent that we don't really have anything left. We now have this service economy, and it's propped up by what is defined as the City of London. All these guys with white collar jobs do very, very well for themselves, but they are slowly being replaced by machines. If you had 100 traders on the floor back in the day, you only need 2 or 3 now, because the bots have been replaced. I want you to see the haves, because this is considered the haves. People here have a salary well above the average in the UK. If you head east to the borough of Tower Hamlets, that's where the biggest inequality is in all of the UK. So you have people on 6-figure salaries, and you have people on benefits, people that are on minimum wage. Now, some people are going to tell you that benefits are very high for some people. This is true, it's not a lie. But for some people, they're getting by they're having to go to food banks, they're having to beg for their subsistence, to get by. Not everyone's as lucky as some people. It depends who you are, depends on how much you will get given by the state and how well. If you can game the system, you're probably going to get a large amount of benefits. If you can't game the system, you're going to struggle. Over here is what now doubles up as wedding venues. None of these merchant banks exist anymore. The old Lloyd's Bank used to be here. It's a shadow of its former self, completely derelict. So what looks like a prestigious place. If you scratch behind the surface, there's nothing going on.
And on a smaller scale, Alex,
Yeah.
I've heard that pretty much any small town you go. Dover was my first example. The high street has a similar pattern where all these
Careful here.
shops have been replaced with barber shops and non-English shops. And
So there's a bit of background to the barber shops and the vape shops and the American candy stores, and no offense to American candy, but they generally double up as fronts for money laundering. There's a huge drug trade in the United Kingdom. Certain segments of the population control the drug industry. They wash their money through these shops. They wash them through vape shops. They wash them through barber shops. So that's
and it's
how-
quite easy, yeah? It's pretty easy for them, it seems.
Well, not involved in the business, but it is pretty easy because they seem to be getting away with it. We have an incompetent government and incompetent police, and they're able to get away with it, causing the forever spiraling downfall of our society.
So here we can just see just how extensive London is. There's the Thames River. As a Londoner, how does it feel to be up here? What does it mean to you, the city?
I mean, this city is my home. This is my most favorite city in the world. I've visited 89 countries so far, and I love every place I've ever visited. But London is me. London is Londoners. But I also feel immense pain every time I, contemplate what London is, because I see, despite the buildings springing up, despite all of that, London is a fraction of what it used to be. It's basically been sold to the highest bidder, and Londoners are basically left out and forgotten. For most Londoners, they feel left out. Unless you're working right in the heart of the financial district, you might be in the slums of London, and London does have some slums now, where we have 1 in 4 houses in London now are HMOs, which is basically houses of multiple occupants, and those are people that are having to spend £2,000 on a basic room, and they have to share a bathroom with the rest of the people. And a lot of those people are having to go to food banks just to survive. A lot's changed since the Great Fire of London in 1666. You can actually see where it started. You see the monument down there with a gold statue by the London Bridge. There's a gold statue, that's the monument. And the little lane down there called Pudding Lane is when London all changed and all of these narrow streets became a much wider city. I love this city, but I also feel immense sadness for what's happened to this city. Obviously, we have the Tower of London over here. That was built by the Normans after their invasion in 1066. Brown building down there, that's the beginning of Tower Hamlets, and Tower Hamlets extends all the way to Canary Wharf over there. And what you see in the middle is some of the poorest housing in all of the UK. Even though the housing is very expensive, most people can't afford to buy that housing. They're all renting or they're living off the state. So that's where you're going to see a real change in contrast from the haves to the have-nots and to the ghettoization that we are experiencing throughout pretty much all of the UK. Towns and cities up and down the country are experiencing this ghettoization where the third world is effectively moving into the UK, thinking that the streets are paved in gold, whereas they are presented with unlimited benefits from our British government, who is racking up more and more debt. Our GDP ratio is increasing year in year, every year. And at some stage, this financial centre is going to say you're bankrupt and there will be total implosion. And then we're going to get a situation like we had in Greece many years ago.
I want to bring you guys back to 2005, one of the saddest days in modern UK history. What can you tell me about what happened here, well, in London, but in particular at Aldgate Station here, as we walk along?
Well, I was a couple of blocks from here. I was in Liverpool Street Station. This station connects Liverpool Street Station. I'd just come out of the station and suddenly you realise there was something wrong. I didn't hear the bombing. It's sirens. As I came out of the station, something had happened. I came into my office and everyone's like, there's been a bomb, there's been a bomb. And then suddenly we heard that there was 4 bombs that went off across London. Not just Aldgate Station where many people died. The tube bomber had a backpack on like I have, blew up the train. There was a bus that got blew up in Russell Square in central London. There was another 2 bombs. It was 4 jihadis that had come down from the north of England. They got on the train and then just after 9 o'clock, similar to 9/11 in a way, just after 9 o'clock, they decided they would do their jihad on people. It's almost like the world has forgotten the impact that these things have. We've had jihad attacks since then. We had a London Bridge attack. Guys with machetes came over basically slicing people up around borough markets. We've had attacks, we've had lone wolves attacking people. But, you know, the whole rhetoric from our government is using Oasis songs, Don't Look Back in Anger, which is a psyop, to try to convince the world that there's nothing to worry about and everything is okay. But for a while after that attack, many people were too scared to go on the tube. I don't blame them. It was very scary. You'd be looking around going...
So when I got to London, having just seen that new documentary on Netflix and doing my own research, they tell you, be careful in London. I've been told by many English people who live in Spain now, be careful, be careful. So you do kind of come a bit paranoid. Now I admit I've since been relaxed and I've really enjoyed London. It does feel safe, but you ask people, where's the most dangerous area? Tell me specifically, and they'll just kind of say, everywhere. Everywhere can be dangerous at any time. So that is a bit uneasy. So now we've came to East London. As we said earlier, Tower Hamlets. This is Whitechapel. And the largest mosque that we've already seen is here to the east. Now we're gonna check out one of the most famous.
Absolutely, and you're gonna notice straight away from the kind of the glass monstrosities of the shining city, how everything starts changing. As you leave the square mile, there's more deprivation. You see homeless people, you see graffiti, you see the streets are dirtier because the City of London is an entity of itself. It's a private corporation.
What I've noticed is a lot of homeless people are British people suffering from alcoholism, suffering from drug addiction.
I would say most
I
of
see.
them are.
Yeah, like it's the British people who are suffering. I mean, addiction's a different topic, but yeah, that's what I've noticed.
But they're not getting the help that the new arrivals are getting. There's a Roma gypsy beggar.
Hello.
It's a professional beggar, that one.
So she goes home to her flat at night?
She has a gang of Roma gypsies that basically all their resources at the end of the night.
Pickpocket!
She is a professional beggar. The ones that really need your help are probably the veterans. They get no help.
My friend told me about this place right here, Freedom, Anarchist, and Secondhand Books. Let's check it out. Seems to be quite a dodgy area. We have the anarchy sign, Tory bastards. This seems to be where all the junkies are. Can you please tell me about this bookshop, the Anarchy Book Exchange, and what is the philosophy behind having a place like this?
A bookshop to promote anarchism. So that's the philosophy of the bookshop. It's also where we historically had our press in this actual room here. We still produce books, but we don't print them anymore.
For someone who doesn't understand what anarchism is, how can you sort of summarize it?
Easiest way of understanding anarchism is it's solidarity, mutual aid, cooperation. It's a society run without the state or the capital or capitalism. It's where we share all resources and make our decisions collectively, democratically.
Is there a reason it exists here in East London, or?
So East London had a very large Jewish diaspora who were escaping from the pogroms, and anarchism in this area was very strong amongst that Jewish population, mainly in the sort of tailoring trades. Sweatshops as well. So
what are your biggest qualms, or what is someone who comes here, what are the biggest qualms with the current state of London and how things are going?
God, that's a long list. So let me think. The biggest problem is the cost of housing. It's been going up and up and up for 40 years, but in the last 15 years, certainly since the big collapse, the rich basically put all their money into assets. Housing is the easiest asset because it's land, and land is a scarce commodity, and in London it's got all the connections and all the cultural things, so it's worth loads. In the 1970s, a working class guy who was skilled work could be able to buy his own home if he wanted to. Not possible anymore. Unless you've got the bank of mum and dad, people aren't getting on that property ladder. And also we've seen in the same time massive reduction of council housing and social housing generally, and therefore rents and rent caps have been removed, rent controls have been removed. So an affordable rent should be around 22.5% of your income, average income for the area. Most young people in particular are paying over 50%.
So this affects, everyone, rich, poor, everyone.
Well, it doesn't affect the rich.
The really rich, the one percenters, but it does affect, what we would call the traditional middle class.
Yeah, it affects them, but they tend to see they've already got the assets. Most of them would have, in the boomer period, come out at the other end owning property, paid off their mortgages, so they can afford to pass that down, that money, to their kids. Unless they had loads of kids, that will mean that their kids will be relatively all right in the future when they die. You know, obviously the biggest impact it has is on the poorest sections of the community. So what we've actually seen is homelessness explode in this country.
Really nice guys. They said that they were firebombed some years back from what they presumed to be neo-Nazis. They didn't have any proof. How's it going, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man.
You good?
That's you recording already, yeah?
Yeah. So this is their water. You just got out of prison. Can you tell us what for?
It was for possession and failing to attend. Class A and Class B. Say is crack, cocaine, heroin.
Okay. How long were you in jail for?
I was in prison for three months on this occasion. That was for failing to attend. In connection to the Class A, I did 6 months for Class A. I came out and I had to re-attend a few orders given by the courts. And for that reason, I was arrested again for 3 months.
Transitioning from prison to going back to the streets of London, what are some of the most difficult challenges that one faces?
Well, the main thing is not being inside. Is about coming out. Look at where you're having to see me. This is basically my living room. You're standing up, and literally, I've made several attempts to buy and sell several clothing, so I don't have to reoffend. To promote this magazine, which comes every Friday to where you're standing, just that bookshop. This is where I sleep. I woke up here.
How many people stay here?
About 2. This one's just wasted. About 2 people, mainly me and somebody else.
Do you feel like the government's failed you, or at what point do you say...
It's a system that keeps you in the loop.
I don't know, what do you want to share, man?
Yeah, how much you gonna give me then?
I don't have any money to give anyone.
No, you gotta give me private, please. And I'll tell you real secrets. Real secrets.
I don't have any, bro.
Come on, man.
It's all right.
What,
Where's the Algerian guy?
I'm not telling him.
All right. Hey, bro, how you doing?
No, he's alright, I'll see you later, mate. No record over there.
All right, I'm going.
Off you go with that.
All right. Hey, take care, bro. Take care, bro. I'm out.
Yeah. Bring money and you'll be good.
All right, see you next time, bro. Oh, what an interesting place. What could they have told me? I don't know, but I always do find it interesting to talk to people who end up on the streets. I met an Algerian man who was living on the streets and he was smoking crack back there. So it's like, how does an Algerian man get here and end up smoking crack next to the Anarchist shop? I find those stories interesting. Everyone has a story. So that's kind of the idea behind interviewing people on the streets. Here we have a memorial of the old Whitechapel, hence the name Whitechapel. This area was bombed to smithereens during World War II, during the Blitz, and it has since been renamed to Altab Ali Park. Why is that? Because there was a Bengali man who was on his way home from work who was murdered by 4 roadmen, 4 criminals in this area. This is actually a nice family park from what I've seen, but you just never know here in London. And I have to say, the Bengali community, it's easy to say, oh, the Muslims have taken over this area, those are the criminals, but as this park history shows us, there's a lot of great, working, honest people who, sometimes get caught in the wrong place.
On the flip side, one of the criticisms of mass migration has been that these areas make it very difficult to assimilate to the culture that receives them. While filming a different video, I ran into these friendly guys handing out the Quran, so I politely asked them about it, but they didn't understand me, so we used a translator. What do you want non-Muslims to know about the Muslim community here? Is it growing? Because I've seen Christianity is falling, but Islam is growing and rising. What do you want people to know about that?
আসসালামু আলাইকুম আমার নাম কফিলউদ্দিন আমি এখানে আসছি আমি মুসলমান হিসেবে আমি এখানে আসছি আসার পরে আমি আমার যে ধর্ম আমার ইসলাম যে আমাকে যেভাবে চলার জন্য বলছে হারাম এবং হালাল আমি এবং বলছে বেধর্মী যারা আছে তাদের সাথে মিলেমিশে চলা তাদেরকে হেল্প করা আমার পক্ষে যতটুকু সম্ভব আমার কমিউনিটির সাথে আমি মিলেমিশে চলা মুহাম্মদ সাল্লাল্লাহু আলাইহি ওয়াসাল্লাম উম্মত হিসাবে আমি দুনিয়াতে আসছি আমি অনেক হ্যাপি এই হিসাবে আমিও ইসলামিকভাবে জিন্দেগি কাটানোর জন্য হারাম হালাল জন্য বাঁচিয়ে চলার জন্য এবং আমার পরকাল আছে আমি এখানে স্থায়ী যেমন আমি বাংলাদেশে ছিলাম আমার জন্ম বাংলাদেশে পরে আমি বাংলাদেশ থেকে ইতালি ছিলাম ইতালি থেকে আবার এখানে আসছি হয়তো এখানে আমার জীবনের শেষ সময় আমি এখানে মরে যাবো আমার কবর হয়তো এখানে হবে কিন্তু আমাকে আল্লাহর দরবারে উঠতে হইব। তা আল্লাহ যেগুলো নির্দেশ করছে আমি ওইভাবে চলতে হইব। যদি ওইভাবে না আমি যদি না চলি তাহলে আমাকে পরকালের জিন্দিগিতে আল্লাহর দরবারে আমাকে হাজির দিতে হইব। আমার মুসলিম নর মুসলিম যারা আছে সবার সাথে মিলিমিশি চলা, সবার সাথে কোনো ঝামেলা না করা, সুন্দর মতো জীবনযাপন করা, এটির জন্য আমি ইউকেতে আসছি। এবং ইউকেতে আসার পরে আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমি মুসলিম কমিউনিটি এবং অন্যান্য ধর্মাবলম্বী সবার সাথে আমি মিলিমিশি চলি, সবাই আমরা সুন্দর মতো চলতেছি। ইউকেতে আমরা আলহামদুলিল্লাহ ভালো আছি।
In the future, Islam will have more followers here than Christianity because Christianity isn't so strong here.
ইনশাআল্লাহ ইসলাম ভবিষ্যতে এখানে আরো বেশি প্রসারিত হবে। দিন দিনে মানুষ ইসলামের দিকেও ধাবিত হবে, নতুন করে সবাই ইসলাম ধর্ম গ্রহণ করবে। একদিন সারা জাহানে ইসলামের কায়েম হবে, ইসলামী রাষ্ট্র কায়েম হবে, ইসলামভাবে সারা পৃথিবীর মানুষ ইসলাম ধর্ম গ্রহণ করবে। ইসলাম সারা পৃথিবীতে ইসলাম চলবে, শুধু ইউকেতে না, সারা পৃথিবীতে তখন ইসলামী জিন্দিগি সবাই মানবে, জীবনযাপন করবে এবং ইসলামভাবে মানুষ চলাফেরা করবে। তখন কোনো কিছু ঝামেলা থাকতো না পৃথিবীতে, অনাচার খুন খারাপি পৃথিবীর মানুষ তখন বুঝতে পারবো কোনটা হক কোনটা না হক, কোনটা হালাল কোনটা হারাম। তখন আর পৃথিবীতে কোনো মানুষের প্রতি মানুষের কোনো ভেদাভেদ থাকতো না, মানুষের প্রতি মানুষের কোনো রাহাজানি থাকতো না, মানুষের ধন সম্পদ একে অপরের ধন সম্পদ লুট করতো না, হারাম হালালভাবে সব কিছু চলবে। মানুষের প্রতি মানুষের দয়া মায়া যেটা পৃথিবীতে, যেটা হুজুর পাক সাল্লাল্লাহু আলাইহি সাল্লাম জন্মের পরে আরবে যেভাবে তখন আরব সমাজ শাসিত হয়েছে, আরব সমাজ চলছে, এইভাবে সারা পৃথিবী একদিন ইনশাল্লাহ, আমার মনে হয় সারা পৃথিবী, শুধু ইউকে না, সারা পৃথিবী একদিন ইনশাল্লাহ মুসলমানরা মুসলমান হবে সবাই, এবং সবাই মুসলিম ধর্মে সবাই। আমি আমার কথাগুলো বলছি ভাই, সবাই আমাকে ভুলটুটি মাফ করে দিবেন, যেহেতু আমি আসলে কোনো সাংবাদিকও না, কোনো ইউটিউবারও না, আমি একজন সাধারণ নগণ্য মানুষ, আল্লাহর উম্মত, আল্লাহর নবীজির।
Thank you, boss.
Thank you very much.
So here in this area we could find these Muslim centers where you can learn Arabic, study the Quran, and it is very interesting. We're going to talk about Sharia law. What is Sharia law? Obviously, it's going to scare people when they hear that, but it really isn't what you think. It's just basically like a parallel system where they can apply Islamic law for things like divorces or marriages or problems within the family. And some say, well, it undermines the legal system here in the UK, but that's really not the truth. But it is just like a non-statutory system that exists here for the Muslim community. Some people think, oh, Sharia law, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Iran, but that's not the case here. But it is kind of interesting to hear about that because I've seen a video about this being a no-go zone. But it is a very family-oriented area. You'll see a lot of dodgy people on certain corners, but just have your wits about you and you'll be all right.
Good.
How many years you in London for?
20 years.
20 years? What's your favorite part about living in London and Whitechapel?
Yeah. That's a good area. You can live here. Yeah.
And the Bengali community is very strong here, right?
So down there, and there's more Bengali people.
As you go east.
East, yeah.
All right. Are you from Bangladesh?
Bangladesh, yeah.
All right.
Where are you from?
United States.
United States. Oh.
How do you say nice to meet you in Bengali?
Oh, Balasuni.
Balafini.
Yeah, Balasuni.
Balasuni.
Yeah.
Balasoni.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See how we have a nice mix, but certainly white people here are the minority. It does feel very interesting, but after you spend enough time in London, you sort of just get used to it. I'll admit that I did have a culture shock when I came here the first time, but really, nobody bothers you if you just mind your own business. And there are some nice active streets here. And you'll still find pubs in the area. Sorry, don't worry, I'm not record. Okay. Don't worry. You'll still find pubs in the area. They're sparse. There's not as many pubs as there used to, I'm sure. So you can't come to Whitechapel without talking about the mix of gastronomy and the smells. It smells very good everywhere. There's a lot of different restaurants, from kebab shops to samosas to Asian food. We have some grilled meat here. Lots of cafes. It's a nice place. There's a lot of street markets. Here we have some more of these nice shops where you can recharge your cell phone, send money, transfer money to other countries. We see this a lot in immigrant neighborhoods, to send remittances across the sea in a matter of seconds. Street markets are really, really popular in London. We've already seen the East Street Market in the Brixton video. Here with some noodles. Hey boss, you good? You born and raised here?
Man.
I see you're in the gym, huh?
Yeah, I work in Mosque.
What's that? Is that a gym?
Best gym in Tower Hamlets, man.
All right. So,
Basically, Mosque, basically, if you go straight down that way,
yeah,
it's next to the park, next to the Asda petrol station.
yeah.
It's 24 hours bodybuilder gym.
Okay.
I'm toning up.
You're toning up.
Yeah, I'm toning.
So you're born
I
in
do more boxing.
you're born in Tower Hamlets.
Yeah.
So a boxing gym, faith is a way to stay out of trouble out here in the streets.
Yeah, main thing is gym is good for your brain, for your stress, everything, you know?
Yeah.
You stay from trouble, you focus in gym, Sharia.
Yeah.
You know, like, you smile every day. Like,
So if you want to see ripped Bengali men, go to that gym.
go Mosque. If you want to see Bengali people,
Holy shit. How's your boxing career going? Have you had any fights?
I'm still injured on my shoulders.
Okay, you're injured. You're recovering.
Once the damage go from my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna go back to boxing, you know?
All right. That's it. Woo! Woo! Towers Hamlets has a rough reputation. Why do you think that is?
Tower Hamlet,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, man.
All right, because you just stay out of trouble, so you don't know.
Yeah,
That's it.
I stay. Away
Respect,
from-
bro.
Respect, brother.
All right, all right.
We're diverse with like white, black. It's mixed.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
It's a mixed area.
We're not
But-
racist, you know?
No, I know that.
Especially me, I'm not racist.
I can tell.
I like everyone.
Yeah. But what I'm saying
My
is,
religion teach me that.
okay,
Because I'm Muslim,
you're Muslim.
yeah, and my religion teach we're not racist. Yeah, we come from good family, you know. We try to help people because life is too short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're here for people live less time. That's why it's best to be humble in your life.
Yeah.
And help people and smile every day.
Yeah. So as a Muslim, have you noticed in recent years or recent months, has there been people talking? Have you felt any Islamophobia, or do you hear?
You know what I mean? Especially me, I don't get involved with this.
You don't get involved.
It's not my business.
That's what I've heard.
I stay away from this.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're just focused on their life, improving their life, their family.
Family, want to get a better job, get a better income.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's life, innit? And especially in Tower Hamlet, it's diverse. It's diverse with every single. You see different faces. Not only Asian, like Indian, Gujarati, Pakistani, Bengali, white,
Cockney.
mixed race, Cockney, Brazilian, New York. You know, like people come from Las Vegas
Yeah.
to visit. But if you go down Tower Bridge, Buckingham Palace, yeah, they're
It's
more
just
posh.
yeah, that's just tourist
This is
stuff.
Tower Hamlet, you know?
This is the real London.
This is real London, Tower Hamlet.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Nice. So you were saying that a lot of times people can get caught up in street crime here when they're young, and then they get nicked, and it gets really hard to get out of that.
Yes, especially in Tower Hamlet. It's very hard.
But why did you stay out of trouble?
Police sign you can hear now.
Yeah, there's a lot of police around here.
Police are here.
But like, why someone like you? Why do you stay out of trouble? What guided you, and why do others not end up like you? Why do people end up in rough situations?
Basically, you have to speak to them
Yeah.
one to one. You have to know the youngster's mind. You know,
Yeah.
what's happening in his house. Is he okay?
Yeah.
Is he going to school? Is he going sixth form?
Mm-hmm.
Is he listening to his parents? The main thing is you have to listen to your parents.
Yeah.
The youngster now, the youngster don't listen to the parents.
Yeah.
They want to do whatever. If they see one guy wearing a nice clothes like this way,
Yeah.
he's gonna say, "Oh, what can I know wear them clothes?"
Uh-huh.
Then he's gonna go to a wrong path.
So are these usually people like second generation Bengali, or who are they? Because your family brought you up,
It's everything.
right?
It's everything.
Yeah. So what played more of a role in your life as a gym person, as a business guy? Was it your faith or your family, or both?
It's both. I would say both.
Yeah.
Both keep me on the right path. That's the main.
All right. So what's the message you give to some youngsters that are out there on the road,
Yeah,
get involved
youngsters-
in the wrong crowd?
Stay out from trouble and keep working, and that's it. Listen to your parents. That's the main, and make sure you pray. The prayer will help you in life because we're Muslim. Make sure you pray your 5 times salah and watch. Your life will be different.
Okay.
That's the main.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care, bro.
Take care, Baba. Yeah? Ali.
Ali. All right. Thank you, bro. All right. So Ali, they're a really nice guy. You know, sometimes the truth always lies somewhere in the middle, where you can hear things on the extreme things on both sides, but you meet people and you learn that, yeah, it always lies somewhere in the middle. But if we just spend all our time on BBC News and GB News, we're gonna be kind of with the way we perceive things around here. So this was Ali's family business right here. Nice place. Nice decor on the inside. Take a look when you come down here to this part. Little Bangladesh. Whitechapel. Wow. It really feels like I'm in another country here, man. There's so much to see. I like it a lot. Wow.
Like Mandy Bay's Day, my TV News.
All right, let's see. In the Sharia law no-go zone. Hello, sir. Look, you can buy beer here. You can buy beer, no problem. I heard that it's hard to find beer in an area that's very Muslim, but so far so good. If I were to buy alcohol and drink it on the street, would that be really frowned upon around here?
It's illegal to drink on the street.
It's illegal?
It's illegal.
I see some guys doing it.
Yeah, mainly because they really got much to lose.
Yeah.
They get arrested.
They don't care.
Yeah.
So, are alcohol sales high here or are they low?
I would say in the middle.
In the middle? Yeah, we can get our San Miguel, a Dragon Stout, Stella Artois, Peroni Italian. Oh, look at the beer selection here. This is really good for a Muslim area. Cruz Campo, Spain's worst beer, don't buy that. So if this was a real Sharia law place in like Afghanistan or something, you wouldn't find alcohol. Here we go. Tower Hamlets Town Hall. I was saying it wrong. It's Tower, singular. They said there's a legendary pub around here called The Blind Beggar, where there was some sort of murder years ago. I just find it so interesting how we have all this like old British style building with the bricks mixed in now with the market style, graffiti, different flags. Definitely take a stroll through here. A lot of interesting things to see. Whitechapel Station, Whitechapel Station. Oh, I like this. How many languages do they speak here? This was a good time coming here at like 6 o'clock because everybody is off work. So this is when all the people are on the streets. Can't find the crosswalk. I was gonna die for her if I had to. Anyways, this is a church, eh? Do you live here in this area?
I just here for travel.
You travel here.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Japan.
Oh, as a Japanese person, what do you think of London? Do you like it?
I like it, but like everything is very expensive compared to
Oh,
Japan. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saving.
My
for
friend
the
is,
dinner.
yeah, that's your dinner because it's
Yeah.
too expensive to eat
Yeah.
out. My Japanese friend said that when he came here to work, all the savings he had in the Japanese currency disappeared. So the Japanese currency is very devalued, the pound is very strong,
Yeah.
and you're staying here in this area.
Yeah.
Does it feel safe?
I came with my family, so like usually I work with my dad, so like I feel
Okay.
and but like I don't want to go out like outside like at night.
At night, yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's time to go home and cook.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, be safe, okay?
Thank you.
So look at here. We have a church with some Bengali next to it. I wonder what it says. Okay, so the Whitechapel Mission Methodist Church is that way. You sort of wonder, for how long will churches exist here? I imagine many have been converted, or maybe not churches directly, but they've had less and less participants, and then the church essentially dies out, and the mosques, well, we all know the mosques here are wildly popular and heavily used. So yeah, there's just been a massive demographic change here. And of course, people that don't live here, that are from the outside, they don't like it. They don't like it, but it is what it is. I mean, there's not much you can do about it at this point. I would say as long as immigration keeps growing, they're gonna have families, it's gonna continue to expand. And I mean, what can you really do? More police, more police. I've noticed in London, there seems to be so many bikes, it's insane. The Blind Beggar, 1894. One of the few remaining pubs in Whitechapel. You know, pubs have been basically becoming extinct, a thing of the past, which is really strange to say because pubs have always been like a famous third space, a gathering area from Brits from all around the country to come and socialize. You don't go to your house, you go to the pub. But anyways, they're dying out here. 2001 to 2018, 75 pubs have been lost in Tower Hamlets. Here's a crazy stat. In 2024 alone, over 400 pubs went out of business across the UK. So what are my British brothers gonna do without these pints? Strange times we're facing.
1894.
1894?
Yeah.
Wow, wee wah.
Yeah.
So it's not going anywhere, probably.
Probably not, no.
But you've probably seen clientele drop over the years, or I mean, that's in general what's happened is there's just less people consuming because it's the cost of living and
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
expensive. So.
I mean, and it's an independent pub, so
yeah,
they struggle to keep the prices down, you know. Somewhere like Wetherspoons, which is a chain, that's a lot better.
So how much is a pint then for?
It's about £7.
£7, and this is how much?
This is £3.65.
£3.65. So this would be like a caña in Spain, which would be about €2 in Spain. But it's all right though. What's your most popular beer?
Madrid. Probably Madrid or Star.
This beer isn't even popular in Madrid. In fact, I've never even seen it in Madrid, Spain.
Actually, Coors owns it now. So.
Coors.
Yeah.
Those goddamn Americans. We have like a little oasis here of people coming here to the pub. There's a courtyard out here.
This is number 1 Brick Lane. You got this, got the archway here that says Banglatown, but that says, I think it's in Punjabi or Bengali. Bengali will probably make more sense because this is Banglatown. You'd expect it to say in English. You see the signs on these streets over here. You got Hope Town Street. We've also got the same. Careful with the cyclists. We've got the same.
In the squiggle language.
Bangladesh, Bengali.
Squiggle, 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 squiggle. Hometown lane.
So this area didn't used to always be like this. It was actually, well, in the old days it was very English, and then it became very Jewish. And then from the 1950s onwards, the Jews left once they'd made a lot of money. The Jews moved up towards North London. And then a new wave of migrants came, and the migrants came from Southeast Asia, predominantly in this area of Bangladesh. And you'll see that they set up Bangladeshi supermarkets, Bangladeshi curry stores, very, you know. But the thing was, nobody really wanted to eat Bangladeshi food, so they marketed themselves as Indian food. So this whole street, all the way down here, was like Indian restaurant, Indian restaurant, Indian restaurant, even though it was Bangladeshi restaurants. It's been changing as the hipsters moved in. The hipsters started establishing themselves from the sort of late 90s, early noughties. Some of the food was really good, some of it's so-so. This is the changes we're now seeing. So Bangladeshi restaurants are starting to be pushed out. Now we're getting, I guess this is a Chinese restaurant and Korean restaurant. They're being replaced. Detroit Pizza over here. All of this, if you came here 10 years ago, were effectively Bangladeshi restaurants. So the changes have been quite extreme. You'll notice at the end of the street over here, there's a mosque. You see the man in here wearing his typical Islamic garb, and he might be probably heading towards the mosque. The mosque is a very modern mosque. It used to be a warehouse, but it's been converted into a mosque. This is an amazing French restaurant. So it's not just Indian food you can get on the French restaurant's probably been here for 20 years, but it's phenomenally good. The oddity here is this is a Church of England primary school, so right next to a mosque. But you also notice that not your typical Church of England. This is probably, are they really teaching the word of Christ, the word of God? Probably not. A lot of graffiti around here. This is actually quite a cool alleyway, actually. There's a lot of artists come down this alleyway, and you'll see them. It's a safe alleyway. It's an artistic alleyway. Good story, actually, some of these guys, if you talk to them. So 5 years ago, if you were an Uber delivery driver, you were earning 50% more than what you were earning now. I've spoken to a lot of these people recently, and the Brits who are still doing it are agitated because their earnings have dropped by 50%, because they're competing against effectively all of these new arrivals. You know, it's great for Uber, it's great for delivery. Because there's so many, they're earning less per hour than ever before. They're all competing against each other. The average Brit will compete against someone that's possibly staying in a hotel. He's not paying rent. He's getting 3 meals a day provided by the state, and he's working illegally. How does he work illegally? Because he rents in an account. The account might belong to a woman. The woman signs on, gives him the phone, and then he's gone for the next 8 hours, around London.
And then so people order Uber Eats and they see a picture, this person's coming, and it's not that person.
It's never that person.
So I've heard that people say, I'm done ordering Uber Eats. So you as a driver here, you've probably seen many parts of London driving on your bicycle late at night.
Yeah, I working for one year, and I lost my 4 bicycle. This has been stolen. Yeah.
How does that happen?
Sometimes I parked my bicycle at the floor and I'm going upstairs. When I come, I don't have a bicycle.
That's your life, that's your work, that's your income.
Yeah, that's my income.
Both for me, yeah, sure.
Do you feel it's more dangerous here than in
on
India?
Camera before we do it?
Yeah, I feel more dangerous from India.
Oh my goodness.
One time, one black person forced me to snatch my bicycle from me.
You were the one.
I feel very bad.
So here's the mosque. Man, that was interesting. I did not expect that encounter.
Yeah, I know.
You've already brought me to 2 alleyways.
Rule in life is always explore the alleyways.
So Alex, what do we have here?
We have an institution to Brick Lane. We have the salt beef bagel with gherkins, English mustard, with the one of the Jewish contributions to London. This is delicious. You can't come to Brick Lane without having it. Prices keep going up, so we've got £6.80 now for one of these.
And what did it cost back in the day?
I remember eating this, it was about £2.80.
So I'm gonna try my first bagel. Let's see if England does pickles the way we do in the United States. Sweet pickle. It's all right. Let's try the bagel though.
It's a proper meal.
It's prime time. That's really good. That is really good. Listen guys, it's getting dark. Everyone says, why don't you record dangerous hoods when it's dark? The truth is you can't see anything. This is not what I expected. I'm eating CKY, filming a future video. This is the Hunchback right here. That's it. Bam's brother. We're in the back streets of London.
Wait. You need to move Elliot.
What's the weirdest place you've ever woken up on tour and were you supposed to be there?
I've woken up in different states before. Well, no idea how I got there.
If you could replace the drummer with any non-human animal, what would it be?
Tasmanian devil.
All right, you guys, so I just happened to meet CK here in the back alleys of London. You just never know what's gonna happen here in East London. They're filming for a new sneak peek video, but anyways, yeah. I'm vlogging East London, but yeah, it was nice running into you guys. We're Americans, yeah? These are Americans.
Rock and roll, Jack the Ripper.
That's it.
Jack the Ripper.
And these are lovely British girls, but who live in Cardiff, but they're actually Spanish. So hablan un poco de español. And I'll see you guys. Hey, behave yourself out here in the streets of London. Watch out. They're serial killers.
I've been
Venga.
behaving myself.
Hasta luego.